What's going on, everybody? It's Jonathan. Are you treble sensitive? Are you adverse to treble? Do you have a problem with things being too bright? Well, I might have a total IAM for you that's going to rock your world. It's warm, it's thick, it's got a great sound stage, but it's a darker tuned IAM, I should say. Well, this is the AME Mousa. It is a beautiful IM, a total IM, and it might be something up your alley, like I said, if you're adverse to treble. Special shout out to Music Cloud on Head 5. He was gracious enough to send this to me. He hasn't even listened to it yet. It's brand new. It was shipped to one of my other buddies. I think Jatis had it first. And he hasn't even listened to the Mousa yet. Hasn't had his hands on it. He bought it, and he's just freaking awesome enough to send it to us so we can review it. So luckily now I can get to send it to him. So thank you, Music Cloud, for this, and let's get to the unboxing. All right, let's unbox the AME Mousa. It retails for $4,500, and it has 15 total drivers per ear, 13 balance armatures, and 2 bone conducting. So, as you can see, the presentation is great. For $4,500, it better be. You better get a really good unboxing. And you do with this. So here you have your 2 IMs, and they're absolutely beautiful. You can lift this up. You also get this coin. And I think this is just for like the Founders Edition, the first few, where you're going to get this beautiful coin. But you just stick your thumb in there, and boom. It's very easy to lift out the IMs, which I really like that. Here's your warranty card and proof that you have it. And what I really like is on top of that, so once you lift that off and get into the case, you have this very nice AME case that holds everything else. So it's something that you can take with you on the go. It's very comfortable and it looks nice. So you pop this open, and then you have listed here very nicely. You've got your tips in here, you've got your cable here, and you've got your manual accessories. I'm just going to pop open here the tips. You get spin fit silicone tips, so those right here. You get comply foam tips, so these here. And you also get some really nice AME silicone tips. And it's neat because if you notice here in the corner, it's all listed, so you've got your AME, your spin fit, and your comply. So really nice tip selection. I think that should fit most people. In this container, you're going to find your cable. And again, I think this is one of the best laid out I've ever seen. It's really nice. So here you go. Here's your Elitech cable. It's a very nice cable made for your Mousa. And I dropped on the floor. Here's your cleaner, so you can get your earwax out and your brush. So that's in here. And I'll just put this inside. And then in the third box, you've got your manual and your accessories. One of the most important accessories in here, got your cleaning cloth, but is this, your separator. I wish every company would add this to all IMs, so they're not knocking together, especially something as beautiful as these. You don't want them hitting each other. So this is great for transport or just keeping them looking pristine. So pound for pound, I think AME did a brilliant job on just the presentation of their IM, especially the unboxing experience. It's really nice. All right, so let's talk about fit and finish. So let's look at this bad boy. The Mousa is a beautiful, and you can tell, well-crafted IM. I'm going to read this from the brochure, that it is the world's first shells and plates made using pure copper Mokugani blocks, processed with 5-axis CNC machine. It takes 10 hours to produce one pair, and the maximum of 40 units per month. So it is a very, very highly engineered IM. It's also a large IM. These aren't small, and they're actually, too, a bit on the heavy side. So they're not light at all. They're actually quite heavy. Be that as it may, in putting them in, they're not that heavy to me. Um, they sit right in the ear for me. So if you do kind of like quick movement, you can feel them moving around. But if you're just sitting back and listening, they're not that bad. And I haven't really had any issues listening to them for like long extensive times. They've been fine for me. But again, if you have smaller ear canals or maybe not as strong as the neck, they might be a little bit heavy for you. But for me, I haven't had any issues. The Elitech cable that comes with it is a nice, good-looking cable. I haven't had any issues with it as far as microphonics and things like that. So yeah, it's not bad at all. Just a little bit on the heavy side. All right, so let's talk about sound on the Mousa. Again, in the beginning of this video, I alluded to it being a darker sound. What do I mean by a darker sound? So I love using Playing God as my first test track. I believe it's outstanding test track because it allows me to hear how bright or neutral or dark an IM's treble is. Also helps me with the sub bass too, because when the bass player comes in with the boom, depending on how much bass is in the IM, I can tell if it's elevated, neutral, or has lacks the sub bass. But anyway, we're talking about treble here. So, in the general mix of Playing God, I feel like if you're listening to a neutral set, then the guitars, the drum player, including the cymbals, and the bass are going to be dead set even with each other, right? Nothing's going to stick out. If it's a brighter IM, then when you hear him hitting the cymbals, then that's going to stick out a little bit further than the rest of the mix. Same thing if it's a darker IM, it's going to be pulled back a little bit. Now, are you still going to get the same extension? Well, on the Mousa, I feel like I get the same extension, but it's darker. So that whole cymbal play that is just beautiful, love that song, is going to be held back a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit further back in the mix. And that's fine. Because if you're someone who loves listening to that type of music, but the brightness kind of tings you every time on a brighter IM, then something like the Mousa is actually perfect for you, because then you can also enjoy that music. And you can enjoy a lot of other music. Like I played a lot of tunes with this. I would say it has more of an L shape because the bass is more prominent on this. It's a warmer sound. Notes have weight, it's thicker. So when I'm listening to Bill Lawrence or listening to something like Go Go Penguin, which is acoustic, more acoustic music, it sounds really, really good. Everything's spaced out. It has, I would say, a medium to large soundstage, so you're getting a lot of separation between the notes and everything like that. So that's fine. But it's going to give you a darker presentation to your music. And again, some people like that. Some people are adverse to treble, and that's great for them. I kind of like a little bit more sparkle in my treble, something on the lines of, I feel like the Odin and the Raven will give you more sparkle, and then on top of that, you can get more sparkle with something like the Fei Wan, and then the Viking Ragnar. So there's kind of like a high, medium, and lows with that. So when it comes to sound, I think also because of since the treble is inhibited a little bit, these aren't going to be the most resolving IEMs. They're very good. The music sounds good. The tuning is good, but it's not going to be the most resolving IM when it comes to details and things like that, which is fine. If you want something like that, some of the ones I mentioned, Odin, Fei Wan, IMs like that, will give you more resolution in your sound. Sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes on the Odin, I will sit there and listen to something and hear someone breathing, and it just kind of knocks me off kilter when I'm just trying to focus on the music. Or the way some guitarists strum things, you can actually hear their fingers sliding across the string. And sometimes that's jarring, especially when you're just trying to listen to the music in the mix. You're not going to get that necessarily with this IM, the Mousa, which is fine, because it'll actually allow you to sit there and focus on what you're listening to. So again, are these a good sounding IM? Yes, they're on the darker side, but I think they play music well. I think there's great separation. It is going to be BA bass. Now, there's some people that love BA bass, and there's some people that will stand by and will not buy an IM unless it has dynamic driver bass, because you get the decay and everything like that. So the bass is pounding. It's very good. It's not going to give you the most detail because I still think there's lacking in the treble and everything like that, but it's still good bass. Is it DD caliber, especially awesome DD caliber bass? No. But that's up to you to decide if that's the kind of bass you want or how you like your bass to sound. The mids are very good. The vocals, listen to Billie Eilish and all the other people, some Dolly Parton, listen to males in there, so some Michael McDonald, Sting, people like that. And the voices are very nice. They're sweet. They've got some weight to them. Again, the clarity is not like super, super crazy, but it's very good. And then when we get to the treble, there's extension there, but it's not going to be on the brighter side. It's going to be on the darker side. It's going to be held back a little bit, but again, that's good for people that are adverse to treble. So pound for pound, it sounds pretty good. So that is my take on the sound for the AME Mousa. All right, so are the AME Mousa a buy for me? On this one, it's going to be a no. And it's really a simple answer why. On my channel, I want you to be able to come here and for me to explain to you how things sound. Now, am I going to like how everything sounds? Of course not. And that doesn't mean it's not a buy. But it is not a buy for me just because I like my IMs to be a little bit brighter. I like treble sparkle. I like the air. I like what it brings to an IM and the way it sounds. And the Mousa are a little bit dark for me. But just because it's not a buy for me doesn't mean it might not be a buy for you, because if you want a total IM, these are $4,500, so they're very, very expensive. But I feel like with everything that you get for them and the sound, it might be up your alley. That's up to you and your budget. But if you are someone who has a problem with treble and likes darker IMs and wants a total, like one and done, I don't want to buy anything else, or something beautiful for your collection, then the Mousa is probably right up your alley. In fact, most definitely, especially for a darker sound. Again, for the people that are treble adverse, for the people that they get sibilants and it just drives them crazy, I get you, because I love the Viking Ragnar, but sometimes that treble on that thing can get to me. So if you want something dark, you want something that's really good looking, a total, great sound separation, everything like that, then definitely the Mousa will be up for you. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll see you in the next review.